Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Sam.
Welcome to another wonderful episode of the LimeCast here today for all of our viewers out there. And so we're going to start a two-part series as the first half of this episode. And we're going to talk about why Lime. First of all, why an agency? But it goes hand in hand with why Lime. Why would you reach out to us? Why would you enlist our help to find a cruise ship or sometimes a land-based contract? And so I think the way that we're going to break this up is we're going to talk about general perks, what we do, being transparent about that, because I think a lot of people wonder, what the heck does an agency do anyway? Why do we need you? And from there, we'll talk about the specifics from department to department. We'll talk about MCT, which is our music team, and then we'll talk about LOS, which is our production cast team and that kind of talent. And then we'll talk a little bit about headliners. So that's our itinerary for everybody. If you're wondering what we do for headliners, stick around. It'll take a little bit, but we'll get there.
A lot to dig
So
into.
there's so much to dig into always, but today is no exception. So we're going to start with correspondence, the way that we treat all of our performers. These are folks that apply through our website. These are folks that come to us through referrals, that find us any which way. Instagram, word of mouth, you name it. You find us, you reach out to us either by applying, which is the easiest way to do it. It's what we would recommend for everybody because we have a system by which we view everybody who fills out an application, or just emailing us directly, which we totally accept as well. And so there's a level of communication at Lime that I think I'm really proud of, and it's taken a long time to fine tune, but it's a full team, it's a big team, and we all really care about the work that we do. And when you write us, we will make it a priority to write you back. Does it mean that it's going to be the same day? Not always. Of course, there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of folks that we work with around the world. But our priority is to make every performer, whether they are applying with us or whether they are already on roster with us, feel important, feel respected, feel cared for. And so that, I think, whether we're talking with a performer about submission materials or prep for a contract, it's super, super important for us to provide that kind of care and support to all of our talent. I don't know if you have anything else to add there, Jess, so I don't just keep talking forever, but it is really important, right?
No, I mean, you cover most of it, but the most common thing that we'll probably repeat many times in this is that we have a whole team working for every stage of the process. And so if you apply, we wish we could accept everyone and talk to everyone and find a gig for everyone, but that's just not the nature of the world. And you'll at the least hear from us, what's going to happen, which often in this industry, you don't hear when you submit or apply or try to go for something. And we want everyone to know that we see you, we heard you, and it's just, not the time. Come back in 6 months or try something different. And from that, even that stage, if you're accepted, you hear from us. Like there are multiple people on the team talking to you at all times and about different things. And that's really important to us because we know how it feels not getting an answer and being left in the dark. So we'll probably say that many times without this, but even for the people who don't go to stage two, you'll hear from us.
We always want to be fair to our performers. And even if that fairness means telling somebody that they're not the best fit for a certain
It's
line,
not the time.
or it's not the right time, or
Yeah.
being transparent to the point that people at least have a good idea of whether we're moving forward, if we are, what the situation is. Because I think that it's really easy for folks, and this is true for us too, when there's not transparency with the cruise lines. I mean, usually there is, but we're not in
Hmm.
the meetings with cruise lines. And so we don't know exactly what they're talking about until they email us back, for example, or get on a phone call with us. And the same way for performers, they don't see the emails back and forth. And so it's easy for them to wonder what is going on and have they forgotten about me? And so
Right.
I think part of that is trying to be as communicative as possible with our performers, but also just making sure that we are there to explain what's happening and their current situation and what might work and what might not. But at least to feel like we're there for them and they're going to get an answer, whether it's one that they like or that is a little bit difficult to hear, but will hopefully ultimately result in them making the tweaks that they need or going back and working on their craft and then coming back to us and saying, hey, I did this or I changed this or how about this? And then we're like, that's perfect. Let's revisit and try to find you a contract or try to find you ship work.
Yeah, actually, I was just thinking, I have a unique experience too because I was a Lime performer and Sam was vetting me. And I remember this guy, giving me
This guy,
feedback saying, you missed some notes in your sight reading audition. And I went back and checked, and I don't know if you remember this, my printer did not print the accidentals. And I was like, Sam, look at this.
yeah,
But like we had some back and forth, and he was like, okay, you don't suck. We can move forward.
I just like the idea of the printer
I
being
remember this
like, we're
so
going to make it a little
vividly.
bit more difficult for you. Yeah, how can we make her audition even more
Yeah.
complicated? It's
But
like,
you were like, "Ah, there's something here," but and then we talked about it, and we had back and forth, and we fixed it, and set up
yeah,
another audition, and so
yeah,
it's it's what, I get to do on this side too, and it's just cool to come full circle on that. So,
absolutely.
I've had this experience with Lyme, so
Truly,
it's
I
very cool
think
to talk about.
that's part of it too, is that we don't want to just say yes, no, yes, yes, no. Everybody who's reviewing, whether it's the folks that work on our application team, whether it's the folks that do the auditions for house bands, so more or less in real time, but judging sight reading, and then our booker team that will review that talent. Everybody wants to try to make it work, and
Mhm.
if we think that there's a way forward, we'll try to explain it even if it means putting in the extra work or asking performers to
Yeah.
put in that work. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. It's super important. I think about what would have happened if I was like, well, no, you missed those
We
notes. Yeah,
wouldn't be here on this
yeah. Oh,
podcast.
gosh, yeah.
At
Be
least I
so
wouldn't
boring.
be.
I'd just be talking to myself. Nobody wants to hear that. So I'm glad that in these cases, not just with yours, but with so many other cases where we're like, wait, that was that was pretty good. How can we polish this? We believe that you're a good fit.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then I think that is a great segue to submissions, what we do for submissions. And we'll talk a little bit more specifically about each department within line. But the idea is that for submissions, a lot of times performers don't know how to put their best foot forward, how to present themselves in the best possible light. And so I think one of the most important things that we do is to take raw footage and
Mhm.
concepts from a performer and package it up so that a supervisor is most likely to review and say, yes, we'd like that person or that group or that act to work with us. And so again, that takes a lot of communication. We're asking questions. It's not just
Mhm.
thanks for submitting, we'll let you know. It's, hey, can you do this? Can you work on that? We need more of this. This is callback material. And I think of course, it's a longer process. We try to make it move as quickly as possible, but what we see in return is that we're able to shape the way that we present performers so that a cruise line supervisor is like, actually, I think they would be a great fit. Whereas if that performer presented themselves,
Mhm.
maybe it wouldn't be the right material, maybe it wouldn't be the right angle, maybe it would be 14 emails in a row with different photos. Look, we get a lot of different kinds of submissions and a lot of different kinds of correspondence with perform. And some of it isn't the most succinct or efficient in terms of a supervisor being able to see everything clearly, availability, country, promo photo, relevant video footage, and be able to
Repertoire
say
list,
yes or no,
resume.
repertoire, all of that. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge responsibility on our part is to say, how
Mhm.
can we present you? We can't guarantee that a supervisor from Celebrity or P&O or Azamara is going to say yes, but what we do know is what they need and how to present you in the best possible way to give you the highest probability of getting that job.
And I think it's hard for performers to see because, of course, they're not the ones going on board every single cruise ship or talking to every single supervisor. But every product is different. Every cruise line is different. And every cruise line wants you to know that. And so if you are general submitting your solid, let's say, promo material, but it's not specific to what that cruise line wants, there are specific lines who ask for a 5-minute reel and some want a shorter reel. Some want to see soloing footage and some want to see harmonies in the vocals. Like, we know what each supervisor is particularly looking for when it comes to repertoire, itinerary, how many songs you have. And we take groups that have that potential, and instead of just saying, hey, every cruise line in the world ever, here's this performer, we are super specific with what we do because we work efficiently. We don't want to waste time on anybody's end. So that's where we come in to help you and to help you streamline the process and get the gig that fits you the best. I think one other thing I wanted to add is that we have the scope of positions and opportunities that not all performers have. And one example that I absolutely love, because I love this group and we got them on board Royal, there is a 6-piece jazz ensemble on Royal. There's multiple at this point
Yep.
on the newer class ships.
Yep.
Not many people know this. And so you're applying in a jazz trio, a jazz quartet, which is standard, but there was this really strong jazz quartet that applied, and we knew of this position that has actually 2 horn players, saxophone and trumpet. And I immediately got them on the phone. I was like, "Hey, add a sax, add a trumpet, put this together, this repertoire. Are you in? Are you in?" And they did it, and then they got on board. And so they wouldn't have known that opportunity existed if we hadn't had that conversation. And so that's the other side of this that performers just don't get. And I wish everyone could have all the knowledge in the world, but that's how we can help.
Absolutely. And similar examples, right? So we get a group or a soloist from, say, Rome or Barcelona or Santorini, and
Mhm,
maybe they want to work as a sailing crew member, but they can't start until November. And meanwhile, we
mhm,
know that there are a bunch of lines that sail the Med and that need local
mhm,
acts. And so we say, hey, okay, we'll work on your long-term contract come December. But in the
mhm,
meantime, are you available on July 17th and August 21st? Because this cruise line is docking and they need a local act in Santorini. And all of a sudden, they didn't even know that opportunity existed. Or in the US, for example, hey, are you in a coastal city? Because you might want to go out and work on a ship. And great, we can figure that out too. But we offer local performances on multiple lines doing riverboat cruises in the US. And so have you thought about that? You might not have. And there might be opportunities that you didn't even know existed. And so again, the fact that we have all of this knowledge, like you said, about all of these different lines allows us to take a look at a submission and say, huh, okay, maybe this, but also have you considered this? Maybe this is even a better fit for you. And if it's not, maybe this is a better short term fit for you if you're not
mhm.
ready to go out and do a long term contract. Or we get a duo and we say, hey, you have a ton of country in your rep. Would you consider being a country duo? Because we see more opportunities for country duos than mainstream duos. So what do you think? Do you want to throw on some cowboy hats, record a couple more songs? We could possibly get you a gig next month instead of in 8 months, even if you're a great act. Relying on us to have that information and to make the best decisions on your behalf, I think is a really important part of what we do as well.
And I think what you were saying about local acts and long-term gigs. What's great about Lime is that we have 3 different departments. We have headliners, music, and Lime on stage. So if you apply for one, but we see you applicable, which are like, hey, actually, you would be an incredible production cast vocalist, put you in that direction, or maybe get experience in production cast or music, then do your headliner thing. And we can support you in all of that, which,
Yeah,
yeah, I think is pretty
it's
unique to what we do.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Most, or again, just to add on to what you're saying, that most lines don't do all of those together. Most lines and most
Agencies?
agencies, one of the two. Lines
Or
do,
let's. Why?
sometimes
Well,
lines do all of it.
yeah.
Most of the time agencies don't. And so there are quite a lot of agencies that just do dance. There are quite a lot of agencies that just do the headliners, etc. But the fact that we can shuffle between them, I think it is just a huge added perk
Mm.
of working with us, that we get to look at it all together. And instead of needing to apply to 2 or 3 different agencies to have all of your bases covered, just apply to us. And then we can tell you what might work within all of those possibilities. And so once we get through the submission process and hopefully we have an offer for you, then the next thing that we do is contract prep. And this is something that's very important to us. And hard to know exactly what other agencies, not lines, but agencies do. Although if you apply direct,
Lines don't do
we
much.
lines don't do much. We know that. And so our job is to prepare you as much as possible for whatever ship you're going to, whatever length of time, whatever the scope of the contract is. And so that is musical prep if you're a musician. That is promo materials and repertoire lists, tweaking, and that is giving you ideas if you're a soloist, if you're a piano bar entertainer, if you're a five-piece band, what to expect on board, both on and off the bandstand. We have different links to ideas for packing and how to think about the gig beforehand, and so many little details that I think if you're new to ships, you just don't know. And we take it
Mhm.
as our responsibility to let you know, because the easier it is for you to assimilate, the faster it is for you to say, I love this gig, this is great. Whereas if it's really complicated at the beginning, it's often hard to recover from, or
Mhm.
it actually will look somewhat poorly, like in terms of the musical director or whoever your boss is, your dance captain, the cruise director. If they see you kind of come on board and not have any idea what's going on, and seem to be totally at sea, pun intended, then it's just not a great look for you. It's not a great look for us. And so we know and understand the importance of preparing somebody for their first contract. And that is something that I think we do quite well. And I don't know if you have any other additional thoughts on how important that is, what we do.
Yeah. One thing that I love that we do, which I think we implemented, I think nearly 4 years ago at this point, is every other week we have Zoom forums. We blast everyone who is going to join within a month, I think, or maybe it's 2 months, and
Mm,
just say, hey, we're going to meet at this time online. If you want to come, we're going to talk about what to expect on board, contract prep, any questions you might have. And it's open to returners and new hires. So it's really fun to hear new hires ask questions and the rehires answer them, and
totally.
to also connect more people in the Line family and to have one more conversation with them before they get on board. And we have people who show up to these Zoom forums who have been with us for years and they're like, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say hi. And it's just so warm, and also is a step in preparing performers to join, because it's so important to us. We know how nerve-wracking it can be for your first time, and we've all been there. Like, everyone at Line has been on ships performing. So I really love that we implemented that.
Totally. And sometimes they're going to the same ship. And you could say, hey,
Yeah,
you're going
it's
to
like,
see each
"Hey,
other
be
on
friends."
board. Right. Especially if one's new and one's done this before.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, take take care of that guy, or watch out for that
Yeah.
gal, or that band, or whoever's coming in. But I love it when line performers connect, and whenever we can, we will connect people beforehand, whether it's on that Zoom forum or whether it's over email, and say, hey, you're going to be working on the same ship together, same team. We try to make sure that the folks that we're hiring are lovely human beings as well as great performers. And so it really feels like Team Lime to have people sent out there. And I don't know if other agencies do that, but we certainly try to prioritize it as much as we can. In addition to that, we have an admin team. Now, other agencies might have an admin team, but they don't have an admin team like we have an admin team.
We have ninjas on our
They are
admin team.
superstars. And so Mika and Luis take care of so many different processing aspects of anybody's contract, especially if you're a new hire. You'll have a medical to do, you'll have a visa to get, most likely, you'll have STCW, quite possibly, you'll have English tests, and so on and so on. And Mika and Luis are so wonderful at reaching out to our folks and saying, hey, this is what we need, getting started as quickly as possible, whether it's 6 months away or whether it's next week and it's incredibly urgent. They will work with all of our performers to make them feel supported and to help them get a lot of this paperwork that, like you said before, the cruise lines, if you're going direct, they don't really help you with this. You are on your
Mm,
own.
on your own.
And some of this can be really confusing. And of course, if you're a rehire, some of this isn't quite as important, or you already have it done. But as a new hire, it's a long list, and we are there to help along the way. And then for travel, on top of that, to make sure that if you have hotels, you know about it. If you have flights, if the flights are a little bit less efficient, shall we say, if they are a little bit roundabout, our admin team can ask, hey, are there any other flights that are available? And it would be much, much
Mhm.
more difficult for a performer or an act to do that on their own to reach out to the
Mm.
travel department. But we have relationships with all these cruise lines and their admin departments, their respective admin departments. And so they can reach out and say, hey, what can we do here? How can we make this better for our performers? And I think that's something that's pretty rare as well.
Yeah, I think one good example as of recent, I'm currently in Europe and Luis, who you mentioned, is in Brazil. And so different time zones, right? I saw a notification come in of a travel emergency. Somebody emailed our SOS email and they're like, I got to the airport, it wasn't confirmed. I need my flight ticket. They need it in 12 minutes. I was like, oh my God, Luis is still sleeping. And Luis woke up. Well, he was up to see the sunset. He was up at like 5 a.m. He was like, I'm on it. I was
Sunrise.
like,
Yeah.
where? Yeah, that does happen in the morning.
You never know. He could have taken a long nap and woken up to see the
He
sunset.
was watching a live stream of the sunset in another place in the world. That's my
He
save.
was there. The point is, Luis was there when they needed him
He was there,
immediately. Yeah.
and
Which,
I was surprised. Even I was surprised. And
you're like,
so they are just super on it. And,
yeah,
that performer got on their flight and got on board. Thank
absolutely.
goodness.
And you mentioned we have this dedicated hotline, this SOS at Lime, where email us. It'd be funny if people who didn't even work with us emailed us to be like, hey, I hear that you can help out with
Hey, you're
emergencies.
going to respond to me.
This is my agency. They're not helping me. Can you help me? But the point is that if
We might
performers have
respond.
emergencies, they might respond. They're that good. But
Yeah.
if we have emergencies, if performers are encountering travel snags or last minute hurdles, we have a dedicated line for this. And between the admin team and everybody else on our team who's based in different time zones around the world, we can usually help very, very quickly. Obviously, we don't promise a response within 3 minutes, but usually in 4 minutes, someone has taken a look
Yeah.
and we're on it.
Maybe
And
four and a
so
half.
it depends. It depends. Right.
Yeah.
What time of day, etc. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think that's a good kind of comprehensive look at how what we do makes a big difference and how
Yeah.
using an agency, but of course, specifically Lime, really changes your experience as opposed to trying to do it yourself, whether it means emailing, applying with multiple lines or just one line, or trying maybe an agency that doesn't offer the same kind of perks and the same kind of support. And I think as well, because we're talking about new hires, and new hires can be somebody who's never worked on a ship before, but new hire can also be somebody who has done ships, who knows what it's like, and maybe they don't want to
Hmm.
work on that cruise line anymore. Maybe they don't want to work with that agency anymore. For whatever reason, we get folks that reach out to us that say, hey, I'm looking for this. It's usually something much more specific than anything will do. But
Hmm.
we get rehires technically who have worked on board before and they become new hires on a different line because we can take what they want and in that same way I think to know what somebody needs and that to take all the information that we have and say okay, these are the two lines that suit all of your preferences. You want more money, we get it. You want shorter contracts, we get it. You want a more prestigious position, you want to be a headliner now, you want fill in the blank. We say, okay, it's going to be a little bit difficult, perhaps because this is not an ordinary request, but we have some ideas. Let's see what we can do. And so I think it makes a lot of sense for folks that are looking for something different and or better to reach out to us. And we can offer that same kind of support because we have that overarching, that breadth of knowledge about the industry and what positions exist.
Yeah, I think it's just so great to be able to work with 20 plus different cruise lines. Maybe it's ship size. Maybe you're tired of that many guests on board. Maybe you want an itinerary request. I mean, there's so many things on top of what Sam was saying, but that is a fun puzzle, I think, for us, especially for somebody who knows the gig, knows they want to work on board. They're just like, I just need some support and go in a new direction. Like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And a lot of these folks that come to us that have worked on board before, they know the gig, they know what they want, and they're seasoned pros. They've been out there and they've done it. And it's such a pleasure for us to get somebody who comes in to think, wow, this person is really good. I'm so
Mhm.
excited to find them what they want because, of course, part of our job is to work with newbies to shape them and to try to help them get ready for the gig. But it's also really fun to take somebody who either has worked on board and wants to continue to be a musician, but just wants a better gig, or somebody who has been a performer on board and wants to be a headliner and say, okay, let's take you to the next level. Let's do that together. That's always really fun and really rewarding. So I'm almost wondering whether this is actually, it turns into a three-part series because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to
We do.
MCT, music, when it comes to LOS, dancers, when it comes to headliners. And I think maybe the
Yeah,
next installment in this series, we can talk about just the application and submission process for each of the different verticals so people get a better idea of how we take somebody who applies or gets referred to us all the way to submission and then a contract.
absolutely. I mean, production cast needs its own
We
segment. It's
we'll be here
completely
all
different.
day.
It is we'll be here all day.
Yes, it's a
The amount of
24
Zoom
hour,
calls that we
but
have,
yes,
like
yes.
video feedback, callback, auditions, like it is a marathon, let's say.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
it's so different. It's so different for every department. And yeah, I'm sure we have so much to divulge on
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah, stay tuned. A lot more information to come. Hey, but in the meantime, we're going to try a fun game for the second half of this podcast, which this episode, which is basically a guessing game. I wish we could play this by slapping cards on our foreheads that we can't see,
Who
but
am I?
unfortunately, we have not figured out how to bend space time for me to send that slip face down to Jess so she can put it on her forehead. So instead, we're in post. We're going to add the word here just so everybody knows what it is. But it's basically a guessing game. Jess will guess what it is. I'll try to give her, I'll give her a prompt and then she'll do the same for me. And then maybe we'll have a couple bits and pieces to say about why that is relevant. Jess, you want to give this a whirl? What do you think?
Yeah, we'll give it a try.
Okay. All right.
A
Great.
lot
So
of
a
potential
lot of a lot of
topics.
topics, right? So like one of the topics is ships, guessing a ship. One of them is guessing a port. One of them is guessing ship terminology. So everybody will see as this game unfolds what it's all about. So the first one, the first hint and the only hint that I will give you to start out is that
First
it
and
is
only.
a ship. It is a
It
ship
is a ship.
in the cruise industry. It is a
Oh,
specific ship.
not that there's
Not that
20
there's
plus lines in the world with
no,
like
or like
50 ships each.
678 different options, but
Okay,
it's a
it's a
ship.
ship.
Uh-huh.
It's a ship. Am I a
Yeah.
big ship
You are a
or am I a
big
small ship?
ship. You're a big ship.
I'm a big ship. The way that you
No,
said
like
that
this,
makes me think
it's just very offended. Don't take it
I'm
personally.
out of here.
You're a big freight, right? Yeah.
How rude.
I know.
Yeah, big
I'll
ship.
leave. I'm out of here.
Please, thank you.
Big ship.
About time.
Yeah.
Big ship. And the way that you said it makes me think Royal is known for the big ships. I also think Disney.
Mhm.
Big.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, P&O can
Can
get
I add? I'm a
huge.
specific.
MSC can get
Yeah,
huge, but
yeah,
actually
that's true.
your first guess is right, which is that it's royal.
Another hint. Okay, it
I
is
know.
Royal.
I know.
Well, I mean, am I Icon? Am I Icon class?
You're not icon, but you're icon class.
I'm Icon class. Well, then the only thing, not the only thing, but the most relevant out of this year is Star, who is coming out this year.
She's coming out this year. Yeah. That was good. That was pretty efficient, I feel like. We got
Thank
there
you.
pretty quickly.
I
Nice
mean,
job.
the way you said big ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Something
It
in my
is the
eyes said star.
biggest.
It might
You're a
be,
star
but like
guy.
by 3 feet, right? Because there's icon and there's utopia, right? And there's
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. There's
very
a couple
large.
icon class, but star is the
Yeah,
newest and probably the biggest because it's always a competition,
great.
right? You know, which
Bigger is better
which one bigger is in this case bigger is better,
in this
right?
case.
And I felt like Star was a good one, not only because it has so many different. I mean, the amount of entertainment on board from the number
It's
of casts on board to the number of musicians on board. Also, our piano bar entertainer, our schooner bar entertainer,
yeah,
Gina, is going to be on there. So that's a nice little shout out to
yeah.
Gina, who was on
Shout out to
here as
Gina.
a guest on the cast recently. And so if you haven't seen her episode, please check that out.
Check it out.
She is much more entertaining than I am, but the two of us together, I think we're passable. So yes, Star of the Seas, very nicely done. Newest royal ship. Stay tuned for it when it comes out. I'm sure they'll make a big splash, and there'll be lots of fun photos and videos of all the wacky stuff that they have on board. But it is really impressive how big those ships are.
Unfathomable. Very
Unfathomable.
large.
Very, very large. Right. Yeah.
Your turn to be something
Uh-huh.
and This will be this is something that happens on board. This is something you have to do on board as a crew member. That is your hint.
To do as a crew member. Trainings? Not trainings. Okay. And it's not, is it performance related?
No, good
Okay.
question.
Right. I guess
There are
performance is
other
subjective,
things.
but it's not
It's
like
true.
doopity doop on your instrument.
No,
It's not dancity
it's not what you're
dance with your
hired for.
feet. Right. Okay. Got it. Is it a duty? Did you already
Tis
say
a
that? Is
duty.
it's a duty? I mean, the first thing that comes up is IPM, is like port manning. How'd I do?
You did good. That was it.
I nail it. Okay.
You
Great.
nailed it.
And this is something that if you're a rehire, you know exactly what we're talking about, right? Pretty much every line requires its performers to do port manning, to do IPM, which means that there are certain times where you have to stick around on board the ship as a skeleton crew member, just in case something were to happen. There's a small number of crew members from each department that need to be on board. Just because, if you can imagine, everybody leaving the ship out in port, be like,
Probably not a great idea.
nobody's home. What happens if there's an
No
emergency?
one's here.
Right. Hello? Hello? So IPM, something that it comes with the territory. And once you get into a routine and you know when it is, it's not a big deal at all, but it is something that you learn on board on your first contract and will probably do every contract after that.
Yeah,
All
good
right.
job.
You ready to guess? Good. Yep. Thank you. Okay.
I'm
Now
ready.
we're gonna do a ship area.
All right. Am I forward or
I think it depends on the ship.
hmm,
Sorry, it wasn't very helpful.
my
Yes. The answer is
a
yes.
venue? Am I a venue?
You are not a performance venue, if that helps. Although, again, performance, like what is performance, right? Very subjective. There probably is some performing happening in this venue, in this area of the ship, but it's again not what you were paid to do, most likely.
Interesting. I'm not a living area.
You could potentially go to sleep there.
It's not helpful. Am I guest or crew area?
Your crew area.
Okay, so guests can't go there.
They
I
could.
don't think
Sorry,
it
I'm just being difficult. They could. They would be escorted out very quickly.
okay, right, physically.
Yeah.
So then probably like crew mess or crew bar or laundry. I've seen people sleep in laundry.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. You need to be very tired to sleep in crew laundry,
You
but it's
have to
possible.
plan
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah,
laundry as
yeah.
well.
But
Anyway,
there's a lot of linens to sleep on. Could be comfortable. Anyway,
yeah.
it was your second guess, which is
Crew bar? Okay, nice.
crew bar, which
Great.
if you've been on
You
board,
can
you
sleep
know, yeah, you
there.
can
Yeah,
sleep, you can
you
try.
can.
Also,
Not
during the day, it's
recommended.
often really quiet there. So a good
Yeah,
place to get work done, good
read
place
a
to hang
book,
out with folks.
usually
At
some
night, usually a
games.
little bit louder, depending on whoever is bartending and wants to blast their wacky techno. I don't know if they still do that.
Yeah,
They certainly did that when I was
I
on
believe
board.
it.
It was like,
Yeah,
we can't hear anything. We can't hear
yeah.
anything. Can we
Just take
not
a drink.
anything? Yeah, not
Take your
this.
dollar bill.
Yeah, and not right. Yeah, right. And yeah, just turn it down. But now I just
Just
sound like an old man.
yeah,
Yeah, I
well,
am. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Okay, my turn to guess.
okay. You are a ship.
I'm a ship. How dare
You
you?
are
No,
a
I'm a
ship.
ship. I'm a ship. Okay.
You're a
Am I a
ship.
big ship or a small ship? Am I small, say medium-sized small, like luxury small? Am I riverboat small? Riverboat small.
Riverboat.
Riverboat small. So am I based in Europe, generally speaking, or am I based in the Americas? Okay, cool. All right. So I think I've got it. I think it's probably, I mean, it could be Pearl, I guess. My guess is that it's American Cruise Lines. That's the line that we do the most work with. So it'd be kind of strange to name a line that we do very little business with yet. Yeah.
Yet.
We are ACL, a line where we are lucky enough to do a lot of business with, which
And
we
love to
love
do.
the folks over
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
so, am I a new ship or am I an old ship?
Newer.
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 Okay. So the newest one's coming out. There's the Pioneer that just came out last year, I think late last year, and then there's the Encore that's coming out this year. Either one? How'd I do? I did.
You
I
the
did.
encore.
I did.
You
All right.
did. You did
Cool.
do.
All right. It's encore. It's encore. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think it's worth just noting that American Cruise Lines has multiple ships coming out every year.
Yeah.
Their fleet is expanding so fast.
Booming.
And that's great news for everybody who either likes cruising or likes performing on cruising. They don't have tons of gigs on board ACL, but the ones they do have are pretty great, whether you're a local act or whether you are a live on entertainer. And so, in case you're interested in those gigs, let us know because we got them. And it's hard to find a duo or a piano bar gig that is quite as good. They get quite as much bang for your buck. So
This is true. And
let
didn't
us
you
know.
interview Connor on the
I did
LimeCast,
interview
man?
Connor. I fingers crossed that one ends up ends up
Mm.
showing. It's not like we talked about super inappropriate things, but we're hopeful that the whole thing can't be used. They're just like
You did, but it was cut.
we can use it, but we're gonna have to bleep out every other sentence. No, it's not
Right.
like certain files that can't be disclosed that make the news or anything like that. It's nope. It's not that. It's not that. It's
Big
very
contrast there.
appropriate. Yeah, I know, I know. Although I feel like we get a lot of listeners if that were the case. People would be like, I'm here.
Yeah, not
I'm here
no.
for it. Yeah, let us know. Yes, American Cruise Lines, lots of great
Nothing
gigs.
suspicious. Yeah.
Okay, your turn to guess, and we're gonna go back to ship terminology.
Ship terminology.
Mm,
Where do I start? Is
there
this
are quite a
something
lot.
there's a lot. Is
Yeah,
this something I do on board? I mean, of course it's on board, but it's like, is it a
right, right,
requirement for me to do
right.
as a
It's
crew
definitely
member?
not required, and
Okay.
I hope it doesn't happen to you. That's a big clue.
Mm.
We're trying to move quickly through these.
Man overboard.
Or woman. Yeah. Honestly, that
Or woman.
it's
They them
no,
overboard.
no, yeah. Do you remember what
Okay.
they used to call it? I don't know if we're supposed to say
I was thinking about this earlier. Is
the
it
codes are. Yeah, I don't know if
maybe not?
we're I feel like we'd get in trouble if yeah, it's like yeah, because it is maybe it's something that we'll talk about at some point, but every
Yeah.
line has a different code so that if they
Mm-hmm.
you know, if something happens, all the guests
Man
aren't like,
overboard. Woman.
I'm so
They.
excited to take video of this, and
Let's go
then it's
check out
horrible
the
press, right?
emergence
Yeah, all right. And then the people who have to deal with the emergency can't even get through because there's
to
40
the
people
emergency.
stuck there. So anyway,
So it's not bad.
it's not man or woman overboard. No,
Okay. Or they them overboard.
they them overboard. It could be any of those things, but it's not. It's not.
You don't want it to happen to me.
No.
Like falling off stage, but that's not a term.
Sometimes you kind of
Like
want that to happen. I mean, you know, certain.
we could get into story
yeah.
time of falls on
And we
stage. I'm
might,
sure we
yeah,
have
because I have
plenty.
some video footage of that's priceless. So stay tuned for that. But no, it's not anybody falling off
Not
stage,
that.
as entertaining as that often is.
Is it related to getting in trouble, like POL or warning,
Yes.
getting fired, captain's hearing?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Nice
Okay.
way to
Got it.
pull that out. Yeah. Captain slash master's hearing, depending
You
on
don't
who's
want
saying
it.
it. Nope.
You don't want it.
No,
You
no.
don't
And
want to talk to the
there are several
man or
things.
woman.
No, no. You don't even want to try to have the opportunity of talking yourself out of that.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to end up there.
You
Basically,
don't
this
come
is
out well,
on top. No.
usually.
Yeah. This is to basically determine whether you will be fired on board, and there are certain things that can can set off this chain of events that would end with the master's hearing, but among them are drinking on the job or anything related to alcohol being breathalyzed. It is
Mhm.
missing the ship, for example, in a port where you have to join the next
Mhm.
port, or you're super late in joining the ship or held up the ship. It's cases of harassment, other issues, other complaints lodged against you, the way that maybe you talk to guests, guest complaints, any of that. You don't want it.
Fill
It's
in the
good to know
blank,
what it
and
is.
you
Right.
think you can get fired from it, you probably can.
You probably can, so stay away. But good for everybody to know that that's what it's called. Don't get there. Don't do it. So I feel like we have time for one more in this guessing game. And so I think it's my turn. Jess,
Okay.
feel free. Stump
Okay.
me. Thank you.
We will do a port good luck.
Okay. So I only have
More.
194 to choose from. Okay, great. Is it Europe? Okay. Is it Pacific, Australasia? Great. Is it the Americas?
Yes.
Okay. Is it North America?
No.
Okay. South America?
No.
Great, cool. Central America-ish?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Is it Caribbean or is it
Yeah.
mainland? Okay, Caribbean.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've got 40 options.
Narrow down,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Is it is it a US territory? Or yeah, like St. Thomas, for example, St. John.
No,
Okay.
it is not.
Okay. Okay. Is it a European Commonwealth? Is it like St. Martin, for example? Okay. Is it a UK Commonwealth? Is it like Tortuga or Barbados or what else? Or Bermuda, for example? One of those 3? Amazing.
Wow, you narrowed that
Yeah,
down
is
fast.
it right. Is it Bermuda?
No.
Okay, Barbados.
Yeah, the other B.
Sweet. Okay, great.
Wow, good job.
Barbados. Yep. Thanks. So I feel like this is significant for a couple reasons. So I understand why you would have
Yeah.
picked it because, first of all, there's so much great talent in Barbados. And we actually,
Mhm.
Jess and I did auditions in Barbados last year around this time, maybe a little over a year ago. And it was so wonderful, so much fun. We were treated so well there with such
Yeah.
kindness and such a pleasure to hear so many great performers in various stages of their performing career, kids in high school, post high school, folks who've been doing it a long time. That was really wonderful. And we ended up getting some great talent from those auditions. But also Barbados, I feel like is significant. Well, actually, also speaking of talent, right? We have some incredible performers on roster, even without grabbing them from those auditions, right? So we have Ocean Eyes, for example, which is a wonderful duo that worked for us on Carnival and
Mhm.
now on Virgin. We love those folks, Ashley and Serge. But in addition to that, it's a significant port because in the Caribbean, it tends to be one of the ports that certain lines use as a home port. So sometimes Azamara will do that. Sometimes P&O will do that, where they'll have a ship for a certain portion of the season where they are every cruise they stop there and they guests get on and get off. And so it becomes an important kind of hinge port where there's certain activities, certain like welcome aboard type activities. And anytime you have a home port, it's more significant than just a port that you stop on along the way because it's so much more tied to everything that itinerary kind of involves and holds. So yeah, Barbados, a crucial port
Mhm.
in the Caribbean and a place with tons of talent. So yeah, I
Yeah,
like that. I like that for a choice.
we have a handful of vocalists for production cast from Barbados as well. Chad, who's on Carnival, and
Right.
his
Montplaisir?
colleague, and
Right.
so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
just great talent that comes from that island.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think I wanna say Ashley and Serge put together a local act for New Year's this
Mm.
past year that was great with dancers and full band. So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff happening on that island or coming from that island. So, hopefully that was fun for everybody to watch us guessing and figuring it out, and if everybody likes it, we'll do a round 2, and we'll certainly do a round 2 and 3 when it comes to Why Lime, this lovely series where hopefully folks can
Right.
understand why you should apply with us. Because, look, if you're thinking about working on ships, we're here and we'd love to help
Yeah.
you and put you out there. Jess says,
Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Jess says, yeah. Big
2
thumbs
thumbs
up.
up.
So, as always, thanks to everybody who showed up to listen to us gab for a while. We appreciate it. If you have thoughts, questions, if there's things that you want to hear us talk about on the show, please write us. Let us know. DM us. Add it in the comments. We are happy to talk about it and we need content. So let us know. Jess, thank you as always for hanging out with me and chatting about all
Sure.
things ships.
Yep. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, folks. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.